Okay guys, today I figured I'd catch up on the coffee chats, and I figured today's chat, like several of the other guys were doing, was my start into reloading and casting. You know, I've been reloading for a while, and I can't remember the exact time that I started. I remember how it started and why. I had been collecting guns for a while and had been sticking to mainstream calibers and cartridges that were relatively inexpensive to shoot, like 9mm, 22, 223, 308, those types of calibers. And I remember I walked into a pawn shop and I saw this 44 mag revolver. It was a Super Red Hawk with, I can't remember the length of barrel. It's a long barrel one. It's 8 3/8, or I can't remember the length. Anyways, well, hang on a second. I'll grab it for you. So this was my main reason to get into casting and reloading. First, I started out with reloading, and that was to make this 44 mag Super Red Hawk more affordable to shoot. I started out and I was just buying factory ammo, and I had found this gun at a pawn shop, and I got it for a really good price. The previous owner they had barely shot it at all. They probably bought it and then thought they were going to go to Alaska a bunch and needed it for bears or something, and then never ended up going to Alaska, or maybe they went there once and didn't have to shoot a bear. I don't know. But yeah, I picked up this at the pawn shop for under $500, and it was in pretty much brand new condition. And I had always wanted a 44 mag. You know, that was the big caliber of the day, and you know, Dirty Harry, all that stuff. 44 mag, the most powerful handgun in the world. And so I thought it'd be stupid to pass up that for under $500. So I picked it up, and when I went to buy ammo, I noticed that the ammo was like 44 mag ammo was not cheap, and so, but I loved shooting it. It was great for blowing up milk jugs, for having the big recoil in your hands and whatnot. So I ended up, getting tired of spending so much money on the ammo, and I figured, I had read about hand loading and whatnot, and I was just always nervous to take the step into actually getting into it and doing it myself. I'm a pretty analytical guy. I think things over quite a bit before I jump into doing something. Well, new calibers I kind of jump into nowadays because I cast and because I reload. But back in the day, I would analyze things a lot more before diving right in. And reloading was something that I had heard. It didn't seem like it was as common back then. And I didn't know people who reloaded. None of my friends reloaded. And so I didn't have anyone to seek guidance from, and so I dragged my feet I dragged my feet a while before I decided to actually start reloading. I looked around for a mentor, someone who had was experienced and who had done it a lot, but like I said, none of my friends, none of my family members were reloading their own ammo. And so I did it the old-fashioned way. I went and bought a bunch of reloading manuals, and I bought the Hornady reloading manual, the Lyman, and the Spear. I figured if I read multiple takes on the same topic, reloading, then plus they had reloading data, and so I wanted to have a variety of sources. And so I started just doing it from the book. I read and read and read, and I talked to one of my uncles who's into guns, and I kind of threw this idea out there that I had more time and he had more money, and so we kind of figured that he'd pitch in half and I'd pitch in half, and we'd buy a Hornady reloading press and then get all the equipment. And so he was willing to pay half, and as long as I figured out how to actually reload ammo and do it. And so that was the deal. And so I read quite a few books, and just read and read and read online. There wasn't quite as much stuff online back then. I don't think the powder manufacturers published their data. So it was mostly by the book. And anyways, I went ahead and loaded up I bought some jacketed bullets and loaded them up for this 44 mag, my Super Red Hawk, and I was really nervous when I went out to shoot it. But starting with a straight-walled revolver cartridge case, that was probably the easiest way to start, because you don't have to have, like with the semi-autos, you have to have the pressures perfect so that you can cycle the action, but yet not too high a pressure. With revolvers, you can load them down so that they're really light loads, and they, the cylinder will still turn when you pull the trigger. And so you can shoot light loads, you can shoot heavy loads, you can shoot hot loads, but careful with those. And anyways, I started out with that, and once I started reloading for the 44 mag, then I started reloading for 9 and all the other calibers and cartridges, and then my mind was, I thought, hey, if I can make my own ammo, I can buy a lot of different guns and a lot of different calibers and cartridges, and I can load them, and so then that's when the collection started going into all the weird calibers and cartridges, and all the old World War II rifles. I could actually afford to make the ammo and shoot it, and then years later, I started shooting cast bullets. I had always heard negative things about shooting cast bullets, how it'd lead your barrel, and then you could blow up your, bulge your barrel, blow up your barrel because you get lead in, and then if you shot a jacketed bullet afterwards, then it'd bulge your barrel or break it. And I had heard all these bad things about cast bullets, and so I wanted to try, despite some of those things, because the same thing that I had heard from reloading ammo, that you'll blow your face off, whatever, you can do it safely. And so I bought some commercially cast bullets locally and loaded those up, and the cost was dramatically less than jacketed bullets. And so I started shooting cast bullets, and some of the bullets weren't sized properly, and they weren't cast really good. And I figured, me being a perfectionist in some ways, I said, hey, I could do that, and I could probably do it better than these bullets. And so I asked around, and of course couldn't find any mentors to teach me how to cast, and so I did the same thing. I read lots of books. I got the Lyman cast, what is it called? The Lyman casting handbook, the loading manual, and I read that, and I read lots of different books about how to cast bullets, and I got into doing that, and once I got into making my own bullets, casting bullets and making my own bullets, and had the ability to load my own ammo, then the whole what do you call it? The whole world was opened up to me as far as calibers, cartridges, bullets, and the freedom it gave me to actually create loads that you couldn't even find. And the commercial manufacturers don't make a lot of the loads that I make. And going from I get weird ideas on, hey, what happened? How would it be if I loaded a little round ball, cast round ball, 30 cal round ball into a 300 blackout case? Well, okay, let's do it. And so I started doing odd projects like that, and realized I could make a lot of purpose-built ammunition, and also shoot some really odd calibers that some of the guns I have you can't even find commercial ammo for. So it gave me that freedom and ability to do those cool cartridges, calibers, and whatnot. So this video is probably getting way too long, so I'll end it now. But yeah, bullet casting and ammo reloading gives you the freedom, and it opens up the whole world of calibers and cartridges. Puts it at your fingertips. You can do whatever you want. So anyways, quick little coffee chat. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.